Hello everyone, welcome to Rare Radar celebrating her month. Today I'll be interviewing Alexi. Hi Alexi, let me send you an invite. Hi Rev. Oh. Let me request. Letting you join Alexi. There we go. Hi Alexi, how are you today?
Hey Claudia, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's good to see you again.
A long time no see, right?
Just a few hours. So would you like to tell us a little bit about your career and what you do with Finesse Media and Little Bitcoin?
Yeah. Hi everybody. It's so great to see a couple of familiar faces in the chat. I see Asia, Elijah, Bipolar. Hey y'all. Cool. So I am Alexi Rabadam, the CEO and founder of Finesse Media. I'm also the COO of Lil Bitcoin, and I manage a band called Azar and Sedated / I manage them as artists, Azar and Sedated, but separately as artists and as a band. So yeah, I do a lot of things. I consider myself a multifaceted entrepreneur, and over at Finesse Media, I am responsible for different things such as, running our events, putting together our community, managing a VIP community, as well as curating content for both our website and our social media platforms. And then through Lil Bitcoin, I run operations. So I'm responsible for the logistics, marketing, as you know, Claudia, who is on our marketing team. And yeah, I do a lot of customer service, do a lot of strategic marketing, social media. I would say I do a lot of the business work for the projects, and none of the creative side. Like, I'm not the one who's coming up with the comic books or anything like that. But essentially I do all of the logistics to make sure that we deliver all of the supply. But yeah, that's what I do. And then on top of it, I am an artist manager. So I manage, like I said, a band, as well as both of them separately as artists, because I run both of them are their brothers, and they had solo careers, and now they joined together as a band. So I do a lot of different types of things, but overall, like I said, I'm a multifaceted entrepreneur. So my background is in business, and I do have a music background as well, just not as an artist. Not as an artist. I would consider myself as a hobbyist. I like to sing.
Yeah, more on like the music business side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so how did you get started in both the music business and the Web3 industries?
Yeah, so my music business experience is kind of all over the place. It's pretty random. I see Agent Baines in the building. What's good? Hey, Duke. Yeah, so basically my music experience, like I said, it's all over the place. So my background is in music, specifically as a classically trained singer. So I have a lot of experience singing in choirs. I used to be in a competitive jazz choir, competitive a cappella group. I was a gospel singer growing up as well. So a lot of my musical ear have developed from not only that, but also, funny enough, I recently found this, or remembered this from 2 years ago. My mom wanted to be a songwriter, and I remember her writing songs as I was growing up. So I was always surrounded by music. Like, I just remember listening to a lot of R&B, jazz, hip hop growing up in the Bay Area. And we are very, we love music, and there's a huge hi-fi culture that is just, it's so prominent in the Bay Area. It's ingrained in us. So shout out to anyone from the Bay. Also, hey everyone, I see Phil and Jay Wade.
Hey Jay.
Hey y'all. Yeah, so that's more on the music side. Business wise, and then on top of it, I also just like sang in choirs all throughout college. Getting onto the business side in college, I actually had no intention of being in the music industry. I studied international relations, wanted to be like a linguist or a diplomat. Basically wanted to change the world in a more like humanist kind of way. And I had joined this internship program, which essentially taught me how to run my own business from the ground up very randomly. It was like my freshman year of college. I wanted to just, I don't know, I was signing up for everything. I don't know what everybody else's experiences were like in college, but I signed up for absolutely anything and everything that I could get my hands on, because I wanted to learn and just do different things. I come from a very Asian strict household, so was not allowed to do a lot growing up. So when I got to college, it was like, I should just try doing something different. So yeah, basically my first year of college, this opportunity to run my own business came about, and I was like, this is weird. I don't know if this is the path that I'm trying to go down, because I was in international relations, but I just decided, you know what, why not try it? So when I was 18, I learned how to run my own business from the ground up. I ran a $100,000 company by the time I was 19. And then within those next few years, I managed other people to do the same thing and taught them how to run their own businesses. So I gained a lot of experience from that. Funnily enough, it had nothing to do with the music industry, which I'm getting to. But basically, I was running like this house painting company a long time ago. And yeah, from there, I just did a bunch of different things. I did work in entertainment previously, doing staffing. And then I was like working with Lucasfilm, Sony, Adobe in different capacities. Then bartended, was a server, was teaching yoga, like any job that's out there that like you can name, I could probably say that I've worked in some capacity in that space. So fast forward to 2020 or 2018, 2019, I met Mitch Mula, who's a multi-platinum record producer out in New York City, very randomly at a bar with his wife. We had become really close friends, and I was working on another business at the time. Basically, while I was working on that business, or I guess I had kind of left that business, but Mitch Mula had approached me and was like, hey, can you help out with me coming up with this pitch deck? Because he knew that was something that I did. I said, yeah. He started teaching me about the music business. I was like, this doesn't make sense. This is very confusing. And I was thinking, so after that conversation, after I had helped him put together his pitch deck, I was thinking, if someone like me who has business experience, has run my own business in the past, and also has music experience, can't understand the music industry, then what more an artist or, anyone that's out there that wants to learn about the music industry, how are they supposed to learn it if even it's hard for me? So I built a business around that. That's how Finesse Media came about. Mitch and I were originally supposed to work together on that business, but he decided to go his own way. I started Finesse Media on my own, built my way up through there. And then, in the last couple of years, Web3 has gotten to be really big. I've always been a huge proponent of crypto and invested into it a long time ago in like 2015 or 2016. And then after I would say that I lost it. Honestly, I lost all of the Bitcoin that I had invested in.
It's okay, it happens.
Not in the bear market, thankfully, but I actually had lost it through just like a previous relationship. But so I was running that business or running my own company. Then Mitch approached me. I was doing some PR for him, and he had approached me I don't even think I told you this, Claudia, but he had approached me to run operations for Low Bitcoin. So I've been doing that for the last, I would say I've been doing marketing for him and doing events, like experiential marketing with him for the last 2 years or so. And then recently came on to run operations for the company. And it's been really cool. We've done $2 million in sales in the last I think it's now 2 years. We say 1 year, but I think it's been 2 years now. And outside of that, we're running this really cool hip hop and crypto community, as you know, Claudia. So yeah, it's been an incredible journey and all over the place, but we're doing it.
A lot of different business adventures. Like Elijah Rosario said, you're a true hustler.
Elijah is a true hustler. He's a very talented artist from, I think, the DMV. I can't remember, but Elijah, shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to him. So you had mentioned your mom. Did she inspire you a lot growing up?
So it's interesting you ask that question, because honestly, when I think about music, I remember very vivid moments of my mom like swinging me around the kitchen when I was growing up, and just like dancing with us. I remember my mom used to listen to so many different types of music. My mom and I didn't have a really great relationship growing into like my high school and college years, but when I was really little, she and I were very close. Now I would say we have a better relationship, but but also shout out to all of the people from my community that are in here. Hi Mike, hi Neva, Abby, Janae. Yeah, so thinking back to my mom, like, she wanted to be a songwriter. I think she didn't pursue it that much because she had us kids. And I also come from like an immigrant family where it's always more important to work than to do things that make you happy, which like our generation is very, very lucky. Well, I guess you're technically a generation behind me, but my generation, my generation, where like we live in privilege to be able to work in a space where we can do the things that we love, and we don't necessarily have to work a corporate job if we don't want to. But basically, going back to my mom, yeah, I would say she and even my dad, they both inspired me. My whole family, like my brothers and I used to sit in the kitchen, and I used to rap like on instrumentals from LimeWire when I was growing up, because my brother wanted to be a DJ. And then I remember listening to a lot of like I said, from the Bay Area, we listened to a lot of hyphy music. So I grew up listening to Mac Dre and Too Short, E40, like that. Those sounds, to me, they sound great. They sound great to everybody from the West Coast.
Yeah, they do.
To anyone from the East Coast, but like I love music for that reason. And yeah, I would say my mom was really inspirational in terms of just like her type, like what she listened to. She would also listen to a lot of like international music, and I remember her trying to sing songs. My mom is not Indian, but she would try to sing songs in like Indian songs, just because she liked the way that they sounded. So yeah, like I would listen to my mom's music, and my dad listened to a lot of jazz growing up. And then I was also a Tahitian dancer, so I listened to a lot of drum beats and Hawaiian music and like Hawaiian reggae growing up as well. Larry says you rap, Alexi. No, I don't.
You've been holding out.
Yeah, I was put some bars on here. No, I would say I rapped as good as a like young little, actually no, there are some 5-year-olds out there that can rap. I would not say I'm a rapper. But yeah, my whole family listened to a lot of music growing up. So I love all different genres. I will say I don't listen to a lot of rock now, except for maybe like math rock. And I don't listen to a lot of country music, but I also really appreciate those genres.
Me neither.
Yeah. So, my listening style is based around like what I grew up around, which was mostly hip hop and R&B.
Who are your favorite female hip hop artists?
I really like Diamond King. Shout out to my girl, Stephanie, over at Little Miss Chit Chat / the chat room. Diamond King is really cool. I love Chinese Kitty. I've actually gotten a chance to be in the studio with her.
That's
Really
awesome.
talented, yeah, really talented artist that actually worked with Lotto before Lotto was really, really big. And that's how I learned about Lotto, when she was Mulatto. Like her rapper name used to be Mulatto, and then they switched it to Lotto, which is probably
Yeah.
smart on their part.
I remember that.
So, yeah, I do like Lotto. One of my acquaintances, Meredith, over at RCA, works with Lotto's team, and I'm trying to think of who else I really like. I don't know. The female rap game is so cool right now. I think in terms of female rap, it's also good to like look at different types of female rappers, because there are like the more pop rap heavy types of rappers.
Yeah.
If you look at Lotto is starting to like trend into in pop and rap, but she started more on the rap side.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Coil Ray is too.
Yeah, exactly. Coil Ray. I really like, I mean, Lola Brooke is awesome. I've been following her even before she got really big.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, she's talented, and she's like my height too, which I
really
love. Like, I love seeing. Yeah, Claudia, if you ever meet in person, I'm short. Just letting you know. But yeah, I try to think of some others that I really like. I actually have like a female rap page that I haven't told everybody about, but
that's
but
awesome.
Yeah, like I follow a lot of different types of rappers, and I'm blanking right now. But
what do you post on the page?
Do I post on the page?
Yeah.
Or what do I post on the page?
Yeah, what do you post on the page?
I privated everything recently, but I was posting a lot of just like music video clips from female rappers, and yeah, I actually follow. There are some really great people that you all should follow too, like especially you, Claudia, because I know you like female rappers.
Yeah.
Lil Miss Chit Chat is a really great person to follow for female rappers. There's also what is her name? Not Latasha. Her name's Sasha, but I can't remember her profile. You know, I will have to let you know about it later. But yeah, like Lil Miss Chit Chat is one of the girls who has always been down for the female rappers. So I also follow a lot of people who like follow the female rappers.
I like that name, Little Miss Chit Chat.
Oh, she's incredible. Shout out to Stephanie over at the chat room, because she's been putting on for the girls for a really long time, and she actually manages Diamond King. But she's a good, you know, I'm gonna have to look into my Instagram in a sec, because I'm like, I can't remember. I'm on the spot. You're making me nervous, Claudia.
It's like that sometimes. So you work in a lot of like male-dominated industries. What has been your experience working in those industries as a woman?
I would say that working in the music industry as a woman, we deal with a lot of the same things, like across the board, in regardless of if you're working in marketing or as the CEO of a company or whatever. A lot of times it's just like men talking over you.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of men, and I'm actually really good with holding my ground. But just as a woman in the music industry, like some examples that I've experienced is I used to manage a studio out in Brooklyn, and I hosted this really big event. We had probably like almost 100 artists and rappers come in, or artists, rappers, producers, etc., come into the studio. And this guy, so I had put together an entire guest list, entire RSVP list, everything. I had been the one communicating with all of these people. This guy, I'm the type of person, I'm very friendly. I introduce myself to everyone, and like, clout is nothing to me. I don't care if you're a big CEO. I don't care if you're a big superstar. The only person I might get starstruck around is maybe like Beyonce.
Beyonce, Rihanna.
Yeah, exactly. But other than that, I don't really, like, I don't see people as different than me just because of their status. So the way I approach people is always the same. But I had gone up to this guy, and I was like, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. He was like, who are you? And I was like, I'm the one who put together this entire event. And it just stands out to me very, very frequently because I experience that a lot. And it's not just even in the music industry. Like one of the reasons why I started my own business instead of like joining someone else's business originally was because I have been put down by men in many different industries. But yeah, like we all go through the same stuff. I mean, that's an example. Men talk over me all the time. I mean, even like I love Mitch and Tilla. I love Mitch and Tilla are always talking over me, but they're also Gemini, so I don't blame them. But no, it's just like something I've gotten. I would say, like a lot of people will be like, oh, you shouldn't get used to that kind of stuff. It's like men, you can't change men's personalities and who they are and just like their nature. So my role whenever I'm working with men in the music industry is like, oh, you're gonna talk over me. No, you're gonna listen for at least you're gonna listen for these 5 minutes, because if you're not if you're gonna speak, then I'm gonna speak, and you're gonna listen.
Oh yeah, I know you have no problem making sure people give you time. Jumping in like, hey, let me talk.
And like I said, Claudia, I'm small, so I have to do it even more, especially in person. In person, I'm like, my voice is so much quieter. I'm lower to the ground.
How tall are you?
Oh, man, Claudia, it's like asking me my age. No,
I'm short too. It's okay. I'm 5'2".
I'm also 5'2".
Oh, we're the same height. Twins.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's been interesting working in the music industry. I will say that there are a lot of really great men in the music industry that I've met and communicated with. Like shout out to, I don't know if Mike is still in the building, but Mike Loco is a really incredible artist manager and music executive. One of the best people I know in the music industry, who always like gasses me up, and all of the men that are in the finesse media community especially do that. But like I said, I grew up with a lot of men, and I have two brothers, my dad, and like a huge family of guy cousins. So it was like, you're either going to make yourself known or you're going to fall under the radar. And I'm the type of person who's like, I'm very loud and proud about everything that I do. So yeah. I've learned to navigate it.
So how did you make yourself known so you didn't fall off the radar?
Oh, funny. We're on the radar.
No.
Yeah. So I'm really big on like paving my own way, and I would say in the music industry, it's hard to do that. Like working in a community or in a place where there are so many different voices, everybody's putting their own music out, or everybody's putting music out there. Everybody's like running their own business. I've learned that one of the biggest things that's like my unique selling point is I am very kind. Like I do everything out of the goodness of my own heart, and like, yeah, of course, at the end of the day, I have to make money and build a business. But at the same time, like one of the things you don't see in the music industry is kindness, because a lot of people just don't even have the time to be kind. Like the music industry runs at a really high pace. And if you look at, I was reading some of the chats, Brother Pathos, Larry said, I don't get why a man would make issues, especially if we were working for mutual success. Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
But yeah, one of the things that you see in the music industry very frequently is people are so mean, and they're so mean to each other for no damn reason. And people get this big head about themselves. Like, also, hey, Bull Bay and Belly, good to see y'all. But yeah, people get these big heads about themselves, like, oh, you know, I've worked on this project with such and such artist, and I've been on Billboard and Rolling Stone and Complex and all of these big names. But it's like, so what? What is, like, why do I care? I care more about your heart. I care more about the like amount of impact that you're making. I don't care about the 20 bands that you have. I want some of the 20 bands, but like, I don't really care if you're an asshole to me, which I've experienced very frequently in the music industry. Like, I don't care about you. And that person to me is like, you're gonna like take a seat because I'd rather deal with someone who's much kinder. Larry says same in education. People are so mean. Belly says all the industry talks about is relationships, but how many of them are genuine? You're so right. I'm here for the art. Yes, exactly. Like there's so many people in the music industry who are just, they think so highly of themselves, but I think in order to run a really great business, you have to remove your ego. And also, like, in order to be a great artist, like for anyone who's in here that's an artist, or like if you're an artist or you're some kind of manager or leader, you have to be able to remove your own ego. And it's something that we all struggle with every single day. Like there are days where I'm like, I need to be posting because I need to get to 10,000 followers, or I need to like show this accomplishment because that's the only way people are going to believe in me. But I'm like, fuck that. I don't really care about that anymore. Like I've had to get over the thought about I need to be a certain way in the music industry. And I think that's what's been able to separate me from the bunch, because there are a lot of people, even like artists and music executives, they all want to seem like they're cool. But I'm a dork. I don't care. I could give two. I've already sworn on here. I don't know if I'm supposed to be swearing on here, but I could care less about if someone has 20,000 followers or 100,000 followers. Also, hey Tiffany.
I feel like the followers don't matter as long as they're like a genuine person. Like you could have 10,000 followers and be rude. Like I don't want to know you then.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, because of that, I've been able to develop more genuine relationships. Like Tiffany, who just joined in the chat.
Hi, Tiffany.
Whom I love, is a very talented artist and songwriter. And we connected through a panel that we had a while back. And then she came out to Philly, and we had just gotten dinner and had such a great time. And like I support her, she supports what I do, and those genuine relationships are so important to me, because I mean, building a community, like we have over 20,000 people who have been to our events for Finesse Media, and on top of the Finesse Media stuff, we're building the Little Bitcoin project. We have so many people in the community that I don't really know, but one of the reasons why we've been able to grow is because we've developed like true relationships with these people. And like shout out to all of the homies that are in the chat, because like Larry's here, Tiffany's here.
Hey everyone. Hey Ray Ray and AR.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Like I believe in not only just developing genuine relationships, but also uplifting people that I think are incredible. Like I'm the type of person, if I see that someone's doing a really great job or is doing something cool, I'll shout it from the rooftops, and I'll be like, that's my friend, that's my homie, like that's the person
You're such a supporter.
Yeah.
How do you support women within the industry and make sure like you keep uplifting them?
So a lot of it has been through social media, especially because of the pandemic. I do have some really close friends in the music industry that like I'll text and call pretty frequently. Like shout out to my girl Janae that was in here a while ago. Like we chat with each other like every week or so, and it's really important to me to, even if I can't connect with them like one-on-one or anything like that, in terms of showing support, it's like, okay, if I can at least leave a comment or, promote them somewhere, or even talk about them on an Instagram live, that's really important to me, because I feel like one of the reasons why I'm big on support too is because I didn't get a lot of it when I joined the music industry. Like I had reached out to a lot of friends. Actually, I wouldn't even do quotes. I would say they are friends, but they weren't being great friends sometimes. When I first started in the music industry, I had to ask people like, hey, do you know so-and-so, or do you know this person? I see you're connected. Like, do you think you might be able to make an introduction so that I might be able to have them on a panel? And everybody I asked just kind of snubbed me. And I I took it very personally when I first started. Now I'm like, okay, I get it, because I to them I was a nobody. And someone had even told me I was a nobody when I first started in the music industry.
No, it's so mean.
And it is, but at the same time, it was like, you know what? I'm gonna not even show them, but I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna reach out to these people myself. So I started reaching out to different celebrities and different people in the music industry to see if I could get them on myself. They said yes. Not all of them. A lot of them said yes. And I was able to pave my own way by just like showing these people, again, going back to support, showing those people that I supported them personally and wasn't just like trying to get something out of them. And yeah, it's been really, really fruitful. So I'm big on the support thing, because I feel like I didn't have the resources or the support from the very beginning. I don't care. Like I made it on my own. Not truly.
You did it.
We all have to like have our communities, but yeah, I think supporting other people and uplifting them, that's not only is it really important to be successful in the music industry, but I think it's also really important to like uplift the culture, because I come from an Asian background. Like Asian parents are very anti-creative spaces, and it's hard to build something when you don't have that support. So I'm really big on like, if I can help, let me do my best to help you, at least in the capacity that I have.
Mm-hmm. So what advice would you give to women who are paving their own way in the industry?
That's a good question. What advice would I give to women trying to pave their own way in the music industry? I'd say, like, can I swear on here? Am I allowed to swear on
I think it's okay with Instagram.
I would say don't take shit from anyone, honestly.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to do that a lot. I would say it wasn't just other people that were doubting me when I started in the music industry. I was also doubting myself. Like I would say that most of the time I did feel, and I didn't even really know what imposter syndrome was until I started in the music industry and like started experiencing people talking about it more. But I remember going back to men in the music industry. I remember that I went to this Clubhouse event. It was like back in 2020 or 2021, when Clubhouse was huge. Everybody was telling me to get on Clubhouse. Literally, my friend gave me a free phone because he works at T-Mobile. Shout out to my friend Nima. He was like, you need an iPhone. One of my friends was like, you need an iPhone so you can get on Clubhouse. And I was like, you know what? All right.
So did you have an Android before?
I'm using my iPhone currently right now, but I also have an Android. So yeah, when it comes to, I had joined this Clubhouse, and I asked for advice on the Clubhouse, and I was like trying to find a mentor at the time or something like that, because I just needed some help. And as I was on that Clubhouse, it felt like I had been snubbed a bit by whoever was running the Clubhouse. I was like, I don't really care. But these guys had approached me after the Clubhouse asking if, what did they say? They were like, do you want to talk about like getting investments in your media company? And I was like, yeah, let's talk about it. So they approached me. Basically, they were trying to run like a startup accelerator program, but they were pitching it to me as if it were like they were actually interested in investing, and it was like a startup accelerator where you have to pay into the startup accelerator.
Yeah.
And they were pitching it to me as it was like this opportunity, and that they were already starting their own music industry company or something like that. I don't know, some weird stuff, some weirdos. But basically they were like, oh yeah, well, so if you run the company, we'll give you this amount of money, but you would have to pay us $200 a month in order to receive the money. And it wasn't a scam. Like, they literally were trying to create this business model that was not a good business model.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would trust that, because like it feels a little bit scammy, even though it's not.
Yeah, and and they were like, well, you can run the business. And I was like, oh, well, are you on the touring side or management? Like, which part of the music industry are you part of? They were like, oh, we don't know. Well, we just thought that you would run the business, and we would like take a percentage if we invest into it. And like, as they were talking to me, and it's really hard to explain because it was a much longer conversation, but basically I realized these guys knew nothing about the music industry. They just wanted to get their hands on something. They were like, oh, there's this woman who's interested and wants an investment. And the reason why I even entertained it at first was because I doubted myself and I doubted my own abilities. And I was like, I can do this on my own. And I wouldn't say, like, I know Maryland here's with MLM scheme vibes. I wouldn't say it was like an MLM. It was just these guys didn't know how to market themselves very well. And I think that they were passionate about helping creatives, and they wanted to see what I could do, and they wanted to bring my experience into it, but they just didn't know how to run a successful business model. And they thought that I would be able to help them do it if they invested into it, but they wanted to make sure that they made a little bit of money as they were doing it. And
just in case it failed, I guess.
Yeah. And so going back to like doubting myself, like I had, like I said, I entertained it because I doubted my abilities in the music industry, and I felt like I needed them. Like I felt like that like I needed their support. I needed someone to help mentor me or something. And then at the end of the day, I was like, these guys know less than I do. I don't, like, they just have money to help them go further. And it just made me realize, like, I've got to stop doubting myself. I have to stop taking any random stupid shit from people that like don't know what they're talking about. And like, of course, always be willing to learn and listen, but also have faith in my intuition, because I've done it before. I've run businesses. I haven't run my own businesses in the music industry prior to Finesse Media and Little Bitcoin, but I already have what I need. And like, to any women in the music industry or anyone in the music industry, I think it's important to like know that deep down you already have everything that you need. You just need to figure out like how to use a lot of it. Like, it took me a really long time to trust myself to be able to run this business, and to be like, okay, where do I spend my energy? How do I do this? Like, how do I grow a community? How do I bring on new followers and stuff like that? But once I started trusting my intuition, I was like, oh shit, like I'm way smarter than I actually thought that I was. And I knew that I was smart, but I had to trust myself in order to like advance and elevate, and also realize that I could be anybody at any single point in time that I want to be. Like, if I want to be the next except maybe not Beyonce. Like, I don't think I could be Beyonce. I don't have the vocal chops.
It's hard to compare to her.
Yeah. But when I say I could be anything that I want to be, like, one day I could want to run another business, and I might close down Finesse Media, or I might close down Little Bitcoin. Who knows? Like, I have to get out of my head and be like, this is who I have to be. I am this person, or I'm not this person. And so, like, my advice to young women, or just folks in the music industry, is like, outside of not just taking, like, you can't just take shit from people, but you also have to have a lot of faith in yourself to just like keep going and keep pushing forward regardless of like what anybody says. And you can't put yourself into this box of like, this is who I am going to be, because that limits who you can be. It's like, you can be anybody that you want to be, and if you just put your mind to it and put in the hard work every single day, that's how you will continue achieving, and regardless of whether that's the music industry or anywhere else.
Oh yeah, I agree. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
What makes you rare?
What makes me rare? Claudia, I don't know what makes me rare. What do you think makes me rare?
Ooh, I want to know either. But that's for you to answer. That's like our typical question that we always ask people.
That's a cool question. I like this question. What makes me rare? That's a good question. Outside of the things that we spoke about earlier, I I think I have a really high capacity to just like do shit. And it's like, I don't really get stressed a lot. There are moments where I do have stress, but I've learned how to mitigate a lot of this stuff. Like I meditate a lot. I do a lot of yoga. I talk to old mentors of mine when I get a chance. And yeah, like I think one of my biggest strengths is that I know that I can do a lot of different things and I just go for it. Like I used to hesitate, but I realized that's what stops me from succeeding. Mm-hmm. So now I'm just like, I just have to go for it. And every once in a while I'll have those moments where I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel lost or like nervous and I have normal feelings like anybody else does.
Yeah, that's definitely normal.
Yeah.
You all go through it every now and then.
Exactly. Like I have those normal feelings, but I'm able to push past them very quickly. Like I think I operate on rapid fire time, at least in terms of processing a lot of stuff. And so while many people, and this isn't not a bad thing or for anyone who's like very emotional or anything like that, I just like I know how to handle my emotions. I'm like very good at managing stress.
That's great.
So like I'm a very positive person, which it's not always easy for all of us to be that way, but I think that's helped me to be a better leader. It's helped me be a better person for the music industry. And honestly, I think it's one of the biggest reasons why I've been able to grow Finesse Media and Lil Bitcoin, because like you can't grow a community. I mean, actually, no, I was going to say you can't grow a community out of negativity, but then I think about gossip columns and I'm like, okay, now that's not true. But I would say, damn, that ruins my position now. I was gonna say that yeah, you can't grow a community like that, but I guess you can. I would say in order to grow a sustainable community, like a community of like goodness and positivity, you have to be positive. But yeah, I think that's a big thing that makes me good at what I can do. It's just like being able to maintain a positive mindset and also to share that with others. I guess there's a lot of different things that can make me different, but yeah, like I am very good at maintaining like a positive environment and building community around that, and then like uplifting people to be their best selves outside of just like my presence, if that makes sense.
Yeah, those are all really good capabilities to have though.
Yeah, it's taken a while. We'll say like running a business can be very stressful, so it's hard to be positive in all of the different moments. But the music industry is a tough industry to be in. So
yeah, I mean both music and Web3.
Yeah, exactly. Like the music industry, the Web3 space, both of these industries are music in general is very like, I need to be famous. I need fame right now. Like if I don't get there, like I missed my mark and things like that. Web3 is very like slow burn, and it takes a while in order to build up. So it's just, balancing the right mindset around building something. But every time that I run a new business, my mindset is like, all right, we just got to do it. We have to like keep going, keep building. If I have to pivot, I have to pivot. And that's something I did in the beginning of building Finesse Media anyways. Like when I built Finesse Media, I thought we were going to be doing events all over the country. I thought that we were going to be doing this like masterclass for hip hop artists. And then it became this whole podcast series, and then this Zoom series and a content series as well. So yeah, like, and to anyone who's watching this, I hope that if there's anything you can take away from this interview, and like Claudia, I'm sure like I'll talk to you more about this throughout our experience together, working together, is like there are so many different routes that you can take. It's just a matter of choosing the one that's right for you and just going for it, like without having, I mean, you can have doubts about yourself, but just like keep going regardless. Like don't let anything stop you, because when you let those things stop you, when you let doubt in, when you let people saying shit about you, or you let anything in that tells you like you're not good enough or you can't do it, that's when you're not living to your fullest potential.
Mhm.
But if you're an artist out there, you should be sharing your music with the world, because like God gave you talent
Yeah.
to do so. Or if like you're like Claudia, you're incredible at putting out content. Like if that's what you're meant to do, that's what you're meant to do. Not to say that is what you're meant to do, but you know, if like that's your calling, then we have to like live up to
Yeah.
our callings. But yeah,
You just
that's
gotta keep going and can't hold yourself back.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think to answer your question about like what makes me rare is just like I have a lot of persistence and joy around the work that I do, and I try to share that as much as possible with the people that I work with.
Yeah, and that makes you a rare person. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Alexi.
Yeah, thanks, Claudia. This is cool, and shout out to all the people that and watch. Like I saw so many familiar faces from the
Oh,
Finesse
yes.
Exam.
Thank you all for joining and interacting in the comments. I loved seeing everyone's comments.
Yeah, this is awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Claudia. Talk to you later.
Bye. Have a good one.
Bye.